The Zodiac Killer is arguably one of the most interesting stories when it comes to serial killers. He is incredibly well known, as well as very thought upon in the community of serial killer enthusiasts. There are many, many people who are thought to be him, and today I'm going to tell you about them. The main suspect, especially the one I got given by Miss Etheridge over here in this thing, is Earl Van Der Best Jr. He is my assigned person of who I have to defend, however I do not believe he was the killer. Here's my argument for how he could have been the killer. There is a lack of evidence against him and it's mostly circumstantial. Van Best did have a lot of commonalities with the Zodiac Killer, and they both loved operas, which is referred to in one of the serial kill and letters. He was also a fan of ciphers, as were most of the rest of the suspects. One of the main pieces of evidence is that there are some marriage certificates allegedly filled out by Van Best by asking a handwriting expert if they were confirmed, or at least thought to be incredibly similar to the serial killer's handwriting. Handwriting science is probably not really scientific. There is absolutely no linking to him being at any scene either. There's just a very odd link. Here's who I don't think it was. It definitely was not Kane. His psychosis is definitely a reason for him not to be as organized as the serial killer was often thought to be, as well as his arrest may have led to a little inconsistencies around the killings. There is no physical way he could have been there to kill. Ross Sullivan is a very interesting look because he is the definition, or like he looks identical to the drawings of the Zodiac Killer, which is an incredible coincidence. He was also linked to some people who are non-canonical victims of the Zodiac Killer, Sherry Jo Bates, which is a very interesting thing, but a lot of people during that era looked very skinny and had the glasses and overall like physical lengthy complexion that the serial killer was thought to have. So while he does look incredibly identical to the drawing, it is just a drawing and there's no evidence linking him to the actual scene. However, he was close to one of the potential victims. Arthur, easy one to explain. A lot of people who were witnesses the Stein murders say and confirm that Arthur was not one of them. That's overall, while not the strongest evidence, strong evidence as to why he would not be. Jack Terrence is bound by coincidence. There is no reason as to why he would be considered other than, hey, he looks similar. Like I said earlier, a lot of people in that Bay Area had very lengthy glasses complexion that looked like the serial killer, and while this is a similar look, there is no reason to believe that he would be it. There's no connection besides him living in the same area, which, I mean, millions of people did. There's just no anything linking him to a scene. I mean, his handwriting looks similar, but like it's very easy to not, it's a very odd thing to link someone to. Last person who I don't think it was is Donald. A stabbing survivor said that, hey, it was a convicted, incarcerated person that just escaped prison, and they think it was Donald in Montana. And after a lengthy case, he was released in like 1968 after serving only 11 years of his life sentence, which is, yeah, because he killed a sheriff's deputy. However, I mean, he talked about killing people in order to make them slaves in heaven or in the afterlife, which coincides with the serial killer's own thought process. However, it's mostly what doesn't convince me is the fact that people think it's his signature, the fact that it looks like the helicopter landing plane a little too much. It just doesn't convince me, and the fact that he was imprisoned for an already alleged crime, or like an already committed crime for killing a sheriff's deputy, doesn't sit well with the fact that, hey, this is an organized killer. Like, he knows how to kill, he knows how to be charming, he knows how to do things properly and live, which a convicted murderer in the already weirdly set up prison system wouldn't know how to do. Who I do think it is, I think it's Richard Galowaski. Overall, he was a newspaper journalist, and he overall lived the news. He knew how to portray the media and how to kind of set clues, or not set clues, as to know what he would do. The news journal that he worked for was busiest on Wednesdays. The serial killer never sent a letter on Wednesdays. That's a coincidence, but it's a fun one. He was an army medic, which explains the boot markings on some of the crime scenes, as well as the tourniquet-looking piece of clothing that was found ripped off on the taxi. Most people don't know how to make that. Most people don't know how to achieve that. However, a trained army medic would, in times of war and with tourniquets and bandages being scarce, taking clothing off in a specific matters, which is important. And he also went by Geik, which was found in one of the ciphers, which is also important because why would a random word be found in a cipher if not for a nickname, or something that you go by? There's also a police dispatcher that later recognized his voice as one of the Zodiac Killer voices. However, this was about a decade later, so it's not the most substantial evidence. Overall, I do think Richard Gajowski was the Zodiac Killer. Richard, being a trained army medic, makes him both a charismatic and knowledgeable person in order to pull this off, as well as giving him a reason to want power over the system, as a lot of people in the army do go into the army for a sense of power.